Hi, this is John Casey, author of Baby Babble Wordplay Unlock Your Child's Genius. And in this video, I'm going to share with you a story and also an explanation of the 4 levels of awareness of a problem so that you can decide what level you're at and what steps you're going to take to resolve it. The 2 problems are, one is teaching your child how to talk, and the second one on the heels of that is expanding their vocabulary. But they have to be able to talk in order to use that vocabulary. So first of all, the story. A couple of years ago, I worked with a gentleman. He was in his mid-20s. He was very aware. He was street smart. He was savvy. He didn't have any other medical conditions that were apparent or obvious or that he acknowledged or mentioned. But what came across after talking with him for a while and from how he shared how he viewed the world, his vocabulary was extremely reduced. And it's not that it makes him a bad person, but it really limited the opportunities available to him, because he shared that when he went to go be tested for something and scored very low, they remarked that they'd never had anybody test that low before. And this really surprised him. He was completely unaware how he ranked or how relatively low his vocabulary was and his understanding of words relative to the other people in the world at that time. So it finally raised his awareness of it to the point where he could take steps to fix it. But he was going to have continuing problems until he got through that process and increased his vocabulary enough to get the job he wanted, and the other benefits also. So I'm not picking on him by mentioning it, but it's the same problem that parents face and their babies face when they're teaching their children how to talk. The children don't have the same vocabulary level as older children or parents, obviously, but the parents have to be the ones to make the decision to fix it, unlike my coworker. So there's 4 levels of awareness or unawareness of a problem. And as we progress through them, it's progressing through the point where we have the problem and we're unaware of it. That's stage 1. So we're not trying to fix it. We don't even know we have a problem yet. Stage 2 is we're starting to encounter some type of difficulty. This results in anger, frustration, and other associated problems because we don't know why we're not getting what we want. The 3rd level of awareness is we're aware of the problem and we're looking for a solution. So this was the stage that my coworker was getting into. He finally knew that he had a problem and knew that he had to fix it. And that's on the path, so to say. These are people that are looking to buy things or hire people or self-study. The 4th stage is the solution of the problem, or on the path of being on the solution of the problem. And so as parents, it's up to us to anticipate our children's learning needs and act to solve those as soon as we're aware of the problem. In my own case, for my child, when he was past the age of 12 months, we started getting concerned because he wasn't talking yet. And when he got up to 13 and 14 months, we're still concerned. Go to the doctor and they say, nope, nothing's wrong physically. Every child learns to speak at their own time. We have to wait. Well, it was terrible. The waiting, wondering what was wrong, wondering if he was going to talk at all. That's unnecessary for most parents to go through, because there are exercises and practices at home that I'll be giving you that you can use to help your child learn to talk faster and easier. And as a result of my experiences going through that, I developed this system and these practices so that you don't have to go through the pain I went through, and you don't have to go through the waiting and the unknowing, and you get all sorts of other good benefits, because when you expand the vocabulary of your child, all other things that you're saying to them make more sense. If you have a high vocabulary and you're talking to somebody that knows some of the words, they're going to miss some of the detail in the explanations that you're giving them. And so until they expand their vocabulary to match yours, there's going to be some confusion and some miscommunication. With your baby or your child, we have to talk in such a way that we use words that they understand. And if they're not understanding the words we're using, it's up to us to give them the lessons and the practices so that they can develop the words that we need to use to communicate with them. This is one source of all the temper tantrums and crying and screaming and the mistrust and the breakdown in communication between children and parents of all ages. There is a failure to communicate. So because of all the problems this brings into the parent-child relationship, because of the academic problems, because of the many sources of pain that are encountered when we don't get what we want or need, I found that with this system that I'll be giving you and practicing it, you're going to enjoy many, many benefits as a parent that you probably wish you had as a child. You'll have better communication with your children. You'll have a greater understanding, less disobedience, better grades in school, all sorts of benefits. And it all kind of boils down to accepting that you have a problem and making the decision and the commitment that you're going to implement the solution. So I hope this has explained part of that to you. And I hope I continue to improve in making these videos to serve you and provide solutions for you. Have a good night.